First and foremost, break down what the charges are, because I heard the judge the other day when he gave him the instructions say, you can find him guilty of this or this, but not both. Explain that.
Well, the manslaughter charge requires negligence of some type. In other words, he was just trying to restrain him. He didn't know how much force he was using, and he accidentally ended up killing him. The criminally negligent homicide requires a higher proof of evidence.
Gotcha.
And requires that there has to be recklessness involved. So it's a charge that could bring up to 15 years. Although even if he's convicted of it, it's highly unlikely. And Dan, I honestly, after looking at the evidence in this case, listening to the testimony that did take place, the 40 different witnesses, I don't see a conviction happening. And the longer the jury's out, the less likely they are to convict Mr. Penny.
That's a good point. And then you could obviously have a full-out acquittal. You could have guilty on one of the two, or you could have a hung jury, and then the prosecutor has to decide to go back to trial. What are the rules in the state of New York? So if there's a hung jury, they can retry him right away, or is there some different parameters? How does it work? Do you know that state?
Typically speaking, if there's a hung jury, the prosecutor will set a hearing maybe in 30 to 60 days where they will staff the case. They'll review it. Okay. They'll decide whether it's worth retrying Mr. Penny, given what took place in the trial. So do I think if there's a hung jury, and let's say it's split 6-6, my guess is the prosecutor won't retry him. If it's 11-1 for acquittal, won't retry him. If it's 11-1 for conviction, they probably will retry him. Although Alvin Bragg, boy, I'll tell you, all the controversy regarding this guy in a similar case where he presented in front of a grand jury and the grand jury didn't indict. Wow, there just seems to be so much political backdrop to this, right, and racial backdrop, that he may not want to mess with it anymore.